Steve, satisfied?
Yeah, pretty satisfied with the way the boys fronted up again after a bit of disappointment last week. I think they really sort of put their bodies on the line again, recovered really well. The detail was pretty decent. I know we probably turned a couple of balls over too many and maybe left a bonus point out there, but coming up here, pretty average conditions, and to get the win is pleasing.
Yeah, so it's 4 points gained rather than worrying about the bonus point too much.
Yeah, I think we had enough opportunities in the 22. I think we had a couple of mauls set up, which we would like to have probably done a little bit better with, but ultimately it's with the conditions and things, and with the boys that pulled out before the game and rejigging the team early in the game, losing Lids and losing Corey. I think the boys adapted really well, and a lot of them fronted up. Northampton, Scarlet, so in fairness it's really pleasing for the group.
Defence was pretty solid as well, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, I think it's been probably a standout for us over the last 4 or 5 weeks. I think a lot of what we've done has been built off that. I think some reliance to physicality, the boys have really stepped up the plate, and it's something that we need to continue.
Ends a run of 10 away league defeats in a row. Is that a monkey off the back as well?
No, it's just we won a game. It was something that we. Like, it doesn't matter, we were home or away, we want to win games. Weren't sort of caught up with the run. It was just ultimately about coming up here, winning, and we're really pleased with that.
Looking at the injuries then, Dan Lydiot went off fairly early.
Yeah, so we'll just check him out. Corey went off as well. Corey looks probably a little bit worse, and Paul went back off as well when he came on. So yeah, we've got a couple of injuries, and then obviously Hanno tweaked his quad in team run day, so yeah, we're pretty thin, but it's something we just have to deal with. Dan was what, arm, elbow injury? Yeah, his arm, his bicep, so hopefully it won't be as bad as potentially Corey's, but ultimately we've got to review it. There's no point speculating, we just got to get back the next 24-48 hours. What
sort of area is Corey injured?
Corey's, I think it's his pec, and Lid's his bicep, and Paul's his shoulder.
And Rhys Webb went off in the first half with what we thought was a groin injury, but came back on. What's the sequence there?
Yeah, it's a bit of HIA, bit of concussion. He came back on and then just had a bit of a bang on his knee, but that was more the fact of when you get Abbas. Abbas played really well, and in those conditions Abbas plays the game and understands what we need at the time.
So Rhys be okay for next week? Or?
Yeah, should be fine.
What about next week then, the third in this series of Welsh derbies? How do you look forward to that one?
Yeah, I think it's just about getting the boys, getting them home, getting recovered, and something these turnarounds are pretty short, and demands of Champions Cup and Northampton back to back takes its toll on the group, but in fairness to them, they've recovered, they've been across every bit of detail, and it's something they'd be excited to be getting back to Liberty with 2 huge games just coming up against the Blues. We know the Blues have got some firepower, and if you don't get a D right, they could hurt them. But physically we've got to bar up again, and then week after it'll be pretty exciting playing Saracens in the Champions Cup.
Absolutely, so that's another reason to get some momentum, kept going against Cardiff Blues. Will you have half an eye on the week after in your selection, your tactics?
No,
against
I think it'll be about picking the best team that we feel is appropriate to play the Blues. Skipper had a bit of a break tonight. He still had 15 minutes he had to come, but yeah, I can pretend he's had a rest now, so he can come back in. Dimitri went off earlier, so yeah, we may move 1 or 2 things around, but it'll probably be who's fit and who can take the field.
How do you look at this sequence of games? There's a huge amount of physical pressure, but you're playing in front of big crowds, big atmospheres.
Yeah, it's great. It is a demand on the players, but that's the nature of the beast and what we do. And in fairness to our boys, they love playing for the Ospreys, which is huge, and they've recovered, and probably I think we've rested them up more than we've ever done. In around the last week was the trust in the group is huge. I know you're probably thinking around sitting at the bottom of the table, you think there's not trust in the group. There is, and they've just had 2 days recovery. Come in, they've done team run yesterday for about 15 minutes and they backed it up. So sometimes it's about not so much focusing on all the details, it's about getting mentally and physically prepared for 3 tough derbies.
I was just down at the Blues. They were saying afterwards you have turned the corner from your struggles a little earlier in the season. Are they right?
It was a big corner at the start of the year. I think it's turning the corner. You feel when you're down, you feel the rubber green doesn't seem to go your way in around certain aspects of the games. Early doors, you look at the likes of Treviso, Alan Wynn's tried, he's allowed to go 13 all and things like that, don't seem to go your way. And then Glasgow home, I know that was probably at the lowest point where probably should have gone 10-0 up with a big decision, a yellow card missed and probably a penalty try. But it's something the group in around, you look at even when we lost to Claremont and Saracens, going to Saracens losing 36-34, the group were devastated in there, but they've gone get a bonus point. Claremont, I think we were unlucky not to win the game. So I don't think there's ever been a shortage of confidence. And again, it's something you look at boys getting staggered back in. You look at some of these senior internationals don't get back till mid-September, so then they getting up to speed. Then you've got a couple of injuries. Jeff Astor comes back, Lydiot was late, so you alternate things around. Then they go off to autumn, and we've had a couple of things there. But ultimately, I don't think it's a corner turn. It's something we're still turning the corner. We've still got to win games, and ultimately we need to prepare and be ready to go against the Blues on Saturday, which we know will be a huge game. They've done a job on us in the Millennium Stadium. I think it's the first time they've beaten us in probably 6 years. They'll be pretty confident about it. So it's something we need to put right.
Are you smarting because of that?
Not smarting. It was a real kick in the teeth, and obviously losing. We were in probably, I think we were about 22 players down at the time, but ultimately the Blues, I think, play some good football. Danny's gone well organised. Sean with a D. Matt obviously with the backs. You just look at the centres and firepower they got on the back three. Is it can open teams up, so we know we're going to have to be on the money, but it's down to Liberty and we want to win games.